Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I thought I'd put a video together based around the trainers that I'm currently using. I've done a podcast recording recently with Dion, who is the manager at Up and Running in Milton Keynes, and she has always told me that it's really beneficial to have at least 2 pairs of trainers in your wardrobe. The reason for this is just so that it allows a breathing time between using them, especially if you're using them often. So obviously when you're using your trainers, your foot is sort of printing into the mold multiple times throughout your run, and then obviously it gets compressed. Then when you come home, you take your shoes off, and then it allows for the foam to decompress and get back to its normal shape again. So that's why it's good to have a couple of pairs of trainers. Also, it just means that they last longer. So I have always tried to have at least 2 pairs of trainers in my rotation. When I first started off, I sometimes just had 2 of the same pair, just because I found a style that I liked and would just wear the 2, again just allowing for that breathing space, and then just meant that they would last longer and I got more use out of them. However, now I understand that there are different trainers for different types of runs, just down to the different sort of materials, the structure, all things like that. So it is good to have different types of trainers to fit different types of sessions or races. So I'm going to start with a couple of pairs of trainers that I have for sort of like my everyday runs, easy miles, long runs, that sort of stuff. So at the moment, I've done some videos on some of these before, but at the moment I'm absolutely loving the New Balance 1080s V10s. So for these, I'm using sort of for I'm really enjoying these with my longer stuff, and also just because they're sort of, they feel really nice underfoot and they just feel sponge. So if I'm like feeling tired and I just want an easy ride, then these are sort of my go-to. So the New Balance 1080s, I found with New Balance that I always go up a sort of size and a half from like my normal shoe size. And also these I didn't realise were a wide fit, but I actually really like how they feel. So yeah, these are stuff for longer stuff, and also just when maybe I have like recovery runs. My next pair that I'm currently rotating around with are the Nike Infinity Reacts. We did another video, I'll leave a link. They are getting quite dirty because of the material, the sort of upper, it's sort of like attracting dirt and stuff. So that's the only thing, it's the only shame about these, is that these aren't staying very white. I sort of, one of my toenails like cut into my the side of my toe, and I've now got a bit of blood there, which is a bit of a shame as well. But yeah, these are a bit more sort of firmer underfoot. So again, I'm just sort of using these more for shorter runs. So say I'm using the New Balance on a Sunday, I'd wear these on a Saturday to make sure they've got some breathing time. But I am finding, I don't think consciously, but I think subconsciously, I'm picking up the New Balance. If I've got easy runs, I'd go to the New Balance more over these. But I must admit, it took me a few runs to wear these in, whereas the New Balance I sort of love straight away. So yeah, these are sort of like the easy runs that I'm doing. So yeah, easy runs, that's sort of like one shoe that you want to have, easy long runs. I've also recently just bought the Nike Pegasus 36. They were on offer because the new 37s were just about to come out. They had a 30% discount, so I got them for like £50. So I like sort of snapped them up. James was buying a pair, so I thought I didn't feel left out. Also as well, they're black and they're Nike and they're just really smart. And for me, for like PT and stuff, these will be really good to wear because I've got a pair of 35s. And because I wear a lot of black and grey and sort of like then mixed with pinks, it's sort of like my brand and my uniform when I'm doing my PT and classes. So these were a perfect excuse to buy these as well for work, shall we say. So I've done a couple of runs in these now. I wore them on an easy run on earlier this week, and I really enjoyed them actually. They felt really good for the recovery run. Trying to think like anything, I just wore them and just straight away just kind of really enjoyed them. They just fit really well. However, I did wear them, I tried them out for an interval session yesterday, and I'm not sure if it's down to this grip or the fact that they're new, but it started to rain and I didn't feel that I had a very firm grip with these. So I'll have to do my research and find out whether it's down to them being new or just the grip itself of these shoes. So yeah, they didn't fare too well in the wetter weather. I just felt like I was slipping a little bit more when it started to rain. So I'm probably going to use these for work, but then also maybe some easy miles. I might try them out on a tempo run or a steady run to see how I get on. But these are also a neutral shoe, so you just have to be mindful if you're not neutral gait. So yeah, these are probably the third ones that are going to add into maybe creeping into some interval or steadier paced runs. Now for my interval and speed stuff recently, what I have been wearing is I always get this wrong, the Adidas Adizero Adios 4s. So before I used to just be a New Balance girl, and James treated me to a pair of Adidas, the same ones but in black, Christmas 2018 I think, so I could wear them for London Marathon 2019. And again, at first I was really skeptical about new shoes and how they were gonna, because I'm just so used to what I know. However, I wore them and I absolutely loved them. So these are more of a racing flat, so this is why they are good for doing that sort of the speed stuff in, because they're flatter, there's less heel drop. It means that, I think that it means that actually, I don't really know what that means in terms of being a racing flat. But these are a racing flat, so they're better for speed work. So you can definitely feel there's not as much support there. So I wouldn't be wearing these all the time for longer stuff, just because there's not that support and structure there to help you out. But I do feel really fast in them. So yeah, the Nike Adidas Adizero Adios 4s are the stuff that I'm doing my speed work in. They're starting to get a bit worn, but to be fair, the last pair, the black pair that I had, I wore them to an inch of their life. So I got some really good mileage out of them, and still I'm trying to cling on to these as well. Again, the upper is like the same kind of, well, it's just the upper's like a mesh type material. And again, these used to be white. These now look a muddy grey. So they're not very, the black was fine, but the white pair wasn't so great with that. So these are stuff that I'm doing intervals and tempo based work in. So again, normally I have days in between those sort of work, so that has time to recover. Last pair of shoes. I know this is quite a lot to have in a rotation, but I am quite lucky at the moment that I just have, well, we've got no races. So the last pair, again, I've done another review on these before, but my racing shoes currently are the, I always get the name wrong of these, the Nike Zoom X Vaporfly Next Percent. I always get the way round wrong. So these are my racing shoes. They are expensive, but they are worth the money. However, they don't last long. So you can't basically wear them all the time. So I only wear them for races. I've raced about 4 or 5 times in them now. New York Marathon being one of them, Valencia 10K, and then I have worn them on the odd speed session. At first to break them in, and since Valencia, because I've just not had the opportunity to wear them since competitively since December. So these have probably done about 70 miles in them, and I will keep them. They're now not coming out of the box until whenever the next race is, so they might be collecting dust for a little while, but we'll wait and see. So yeah, that's the current different shoes that are in my rotation. I would recommend having different shoes in your rotation, as I said, just because they've got different purposes and they serve different things. You know, I am very lucky that I have a number of shoes in my current rotation, but I would always recommend having at least 2 pairs of shoes, even if they are the same, just so you can let them breathe in between. But again, like I said, I have different ones for different purposes. So, you know, if you're going to have like 3 pairs, have one for your easy day miles, one for your speed stuff, and one for your race day. But the same thing, your speed stuff and your race day can be exactly the same. Again, I'm just in a really fortunate position, because before I would only really have 2 pairs of trainers, and one would be like easy miles, and then the other would be speed and race day. So yeah, that's what's current in my rotation. I hope that you found this helpful and useful, and I'd love to know what you're currently wearing too. So leave me a comment below, and I'll see you all in the next video.